Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how you can turbocharge your local search engine rankings and the amount of traffic you're getting from people searching locally for your products and services. The goal here is essentially to improve your Google presence so that when people are searching on Google using location names, and those are locations where you want to appear for in the search results, we want to get your website as high up in those results as possible. In this example here, I've done a Google search for dentist in Manchester, and we can see the businesses popping up at the top of the results, and we know already how important it is to appear high up in those organic rankings, given how competitive it is now in the Google search results when you've got things like the rich snippet questions, which you can see here, you've got the map pack, and you've also got the ads up there. So the higher up you can appear, the more traffic you're going to win to your website. It's as simple as that. Here's why it's so important to focus on local search and not just kind of general searches for the products and services you do. First thing is, about half of the searches actually taking place on Google, believe it or not, have some local intent. So 1 in every 2 searches are people looking for things using place names or expecting to find results that are actually local to where they're searching. And this is something everybody's doing. So 97% of people, practically everybody, is carrying out searches like this. And 1 in every 3 people are actually carrying out local searches at least once every single week. And this is a trend that's been on the rise now for a number of years. It's not something that's slowing down. It's obviously being accelerated by people increasingly searching on mobile phones when they're out and about. So it's really something to get on top of now. Better to do this sooner rather than later so your business can start reaping the rewards. Now there's 2 scenarios where people, businesses like yourself, might actually want to appear more prominently in local search results. So scenario 1 is where you've got a shop or a showroom or some kind of physical location and you want customers to actually come to you. So people are going to generally, for this kind of scenario, they're going to be searching into a location. So I might not, as the searcher, actually be based where I'm going to be searching, but I'm going to look on Google for a product or a service. So let's say it's the dentists. I might not be based in the city of Manchester. I might be on the outskirts, but I might be looking into the city to find somebody because I think I'm going to have more options by looking actually into the city rather than maybe in the village where I live. So in this scenario, I'm going to type in dentist in Manchester, and I'm going to expect to be able to see who's based in Manchester, physically based there, and I'm going to expect to see directions and figure out how I can actually reach them so I can pay that business a visit in person. In this scenario, you're going to want to probably only rank each of those physical stores. If you've just got one shop, there's probably only one main town or city that you want to appear in. It doesn't make sense for you to appear in loads of different locations when the customer actually has to come to you, and you may as well just be ranking for the one place where you are actually based. Now in scenario 2, it kind of flips around a bit, and this is more for service businesses rather than physical premise and shops. So in this scenario, if you're offering a service, let's say you're a plumber and you're serving the whole of London, you've got a really wide service area. So you're based in London, that comprises loads of different towns and sort of areas all around London. And you're not going to expect people to come and see you to fix their plumbing problems, obviously. You're going to go out to visit people on site. So in this scenario, the people searching on Google, they're not looking into areas where they're expecting to find the service. What they're doing is they're searching for the service they need, and they're going to type in their actual home address location. They're going to type in the town, the city, the village, the area name where they live, because they want to make sure the search results are showing people who are going to be willing to come into their area to actually provide a service to them in their home. In this scenario, you're probably going to want to appear for multiple locations. Most service businesses have kind of quite a wide service area. They're generally going to go just beyond their immediate town or city, and they might go out and operate regionally. Or if it's a large business, they might even be doing this nationally, and they might be covering the whole of the country, and they're going to want to appear for all of those towns and cities that people might be searching for, where they're going to be based to find that service. Okay, so let's kind of start piecing this together and seeing it in reality. How does this actually look when you see it in the search results? So I've jumped back here to the example I shared at the start of the presentation, which was dentists in Manchester. So Manchester, it's a big city. It's going to be really competitive in the search results. And when we look at these results, we actually get a mix of things coming up here. So at the top of the results, we've got this city centre dentist. Now, these guys, when you look at them, they appear to actually be in Manchester. So they are a Manchester-based clinic, and they're appearing on that page because they're based largely in Manchester, and they want people to come into their clinic in Manchester. And these guys probably haven't done a lot of work around using location pages to boost their SEO. They're probably ranking here, but on the basis that they are physically based in Manchester. So the chances are all of the content on their website is already talking about Manchester and about dentists. So the SEO in some sense has kind of taken care of itself from a location perspective, just by the fact it's the only location they cover. But what about a business that is covering multiple locations or has multiple stores or clinics or showrooms, and they're wanting to pull people into these places across multiple different towns and cities? This is where you need to be using location pages to really boost your SEO. And we can see Bupa doing this really well in the search results a little bit further down. So in this example, Bupa are kind of a health insurance provider, and they operate on a national level. So they want to be appearing and have their clinics appearing all over the country. So they're going to be, every major town and city, they want to be appearing there. And they're managing to do it. They're doing a really great job. They're coming up second in the organic results. And you can see here, it's for a page specifically for Manchester. Now, these guys won't just be based in Manchester. They're going to have tons of clinics. And what they've done to achieve this is use a location page to achieve these SEO rankings. So I'm going to just drag this kind of search result page, when you click on it, over onto my screen here, so we can actually take a look at exactly how they're doing this, and we can sort of break down what they're doing on the page, and we can figure out how we can use this ourselves in our businesses to replicate the same sort of results. Now, the first thing you can notice quite prominently at the top is really simple to see in the URL. So the web address they've generated for this page has a really clear structure. So they have lots of services. In this case, it's dental, but then they've broken it down into a sort of a subdirectory with the / practices. And then within here, we've got Manchester. So they're using the name of the place in the URL title. And what I would expect is if I change this out and typed in a different location. So let's say I typed in Leeds, which is another city, and we look at that, we're probably going to get a very similar page come up, but just for a different city. And you could probably do this with all the cities in the UK, and you're going to see them have a page for all of these. What you've noticed there, when that page switched over, is the page looks really similar. So this is something really important to keep in mind with location pages, is that you can repurpose one page and keep 90% of the content. And even though Google say they will penalize duplicate content, if it's for a legitimate and helpful reason, like appearing for all the areas you serve, you don't get penalized for doing that. And you can already see here, this page is almost an exact replica of the previous page, except they've just added the word Leeds in to a few places. Or not just Leeds, but whatever the location might be. So if we just flick back to Manchester, we'll take a look at the most important places where we need to be including the location then. So the first one we covered is the URL. A bit more hidden away, but up here in the meta SEO title for the page, we can see as well, Manchester appears in there. We've got these site breadcrumb links at the top of the page, and they've got one of these again, specifying Manchester. The H1 title of the page over here includes it. That's a really important one that you've got to do. These are key ranking places for Google, where it's looking at really important keywords to understand what the page is about and what it should appear for. And then because they've got a physical premise in Manchester, they've actually used the address of the place, the opening hours. And if we scroll a bit further down the page, we can see they're talking a lot about Manchester and the location of the clinic in Manchester. A bit further down, we've got a map of the location. Again, it's reinforcing the fact that this page is dedicated to this one particular location. And if we just scroll a bit further back up, we can see in the top right here, they've got an 0161 area code number. That's a local number to Manchester. So that gives you an idea about how you can customize the pages. Everything else on that page, apart from the name of the location and some of the contact details specific to that location, is going to be identical, and it is, because I've checked this, it's identical for all their different locations that they've created pages for, and they're not getting penalised for that. In fact, it's working incredibly well. It's getting them some really strong Google rankings. But what about if you're a business that isn't actually trying to rank for premises? Can you still use this technique? And the simple answer is you absolutely can. So let's look at another example. In this scenario, we're looking at a drainage company. So this company is called Dino Rod. They're going to come out and they're going to unblock your drains, solve drainage problems, block sinks, block toilets, all that sort of stuff. Now, no one in their right mind would search for a company like this and expect to drive out to a shop and meet with somebody and purchase kind of a service over a sort of a counter and somehow expect that to fix the drain at home. You're 100% doing the search, expecting this company to come out to you to actually unblock the drain in your home. So this is why it's a service business, and they're not advertising a clinic or a shop or a showroom. They're just advertising the fact we do this service in your area. And just like the last company we looked at, these guys are national. So they're doing this all over the country. So they have absolutely tons of these pages. And again, they're not getting penalised for this. It's securing them really good Google rankings. So let's quickly take a look. We're going to see a lot of the same things that we just looked at with the previous company. So the location this time is York. We can see in the URL, they've got York up here. In the Meta SEO title, they mention York. The H1 title here at the top of the page also mentions York. We've got a local 01904 number. That's a York area code phone number. And what we can see here is signals to indicate that they're based in York. So they've got opening hours and they've got a map on there. And it's just making it really clear that this is an area they serve. And then they weave the word York into the content of the page as you scroll through it. Again, all of that page structure and that page content is very similar for all the other areas. So if I were to come onto here and do what I did last time and type in Leeds instead of York, I'm going to get the exact same page generated, but it's just swapped out the words York for Leeds, and it's generated a new map and a new area code phone number. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a bit of a sort of insight into how this works and how you can use it in your own business. So let's just recap on exactly how you do it. So the first thing to be aware of is you don't need to be running multiple shops or have multiple locations to do this. You can be a service business, and you want to list out first on a piece of paper, just get the areas clear of where you want to appear for and the main towns and cities where you would like to improve your search results. You're then going to go and create one page initially for one of these locations. You're going to create it like any other web page, just talking about the services you offer, what you provide, features and benefits of the service, and how customers can get in touch with you. And you're going to write it about one location. You're then going to duplicate that page. So depending on your website builder, you're going to be effectively copying and pasting this page to create multiple versions of it. But we're going to swap out the location name for a different location in these key areas. So the main ones are the website URL. Everyone has to have a unique web page URL with a location included in the URL. The SEO page title and the SEO description, that sit behind the scenes of the page. We want to include the location there. The H1 heading at the top of the page, and then we want to mention the location again throughout the body copy in various different places. Then what we need to make sure we do is use something a bit like the breadcrumbs we saw at the top of those other examples, where we're making sure somewhere on the website we're linking to these pages. You've got to have links to these pages from other pages on your site, otherwise Google can't actually find them and crawl them, and they're not going to appear in the search results. And then as an absolute kind of bonus, just to put the icing on the cake, if you can buy some local area phone numbers for all of the areas you're going to cover, if they have different sort of geographical area codes, that's going to be a real bonus, because again, it's a big ranking factor. Google look at that and they like to see local area numbers associated with the pages. Okay, so I hope that helps you out. Good luck getting your location pages set up, and let me know how it goes. Okay, cheers. Bye now.